Joe Marks with Nextgov, back here in the Nextgov booth of the Management of Change Conference with Stephen Buckner, Director for the Center of New Media and Promotion at the U.S. Census Bureau. And I just watched Stephen at a panel discussion on mobility, an unconference panel discussion. And something I was really struck by was the breadth of the mobile work that you guys are doing. Because first of all, you're using devices, you're sending people out with devices for the 2010 census. You are creating, it sounded like you're maybe creating some apps yourselves, or at least mobile-enabled websites, and you're building an API so that other people can build apps out of your content. So I wanted to start with the devices themselves. I'm wondering if you can tell me how you used those, what they were and how you used them in 2010.
Yeah, so during the 2010 census we had mobile handheld computers that essentially were put into the field so that the field representatives, the census takers, could do their job more effectively. So they could enter all their administrative functions, the hours they worked, all the payroll information, and it goes right into the overarching payroll system within headquarters, and so that created a lot of efficiencies. But the primary purpose was to make sure that we mapped every single housing unit across the country to make sure that when we did count that, the residents of that house, that they were aligned appropriately to that jurisdiction. Because it's not just counting the population, you got to put them in a location and then align that with local geography boundaries and municipalities. So they used that in terms of that, and then they would actually do follow-up as well with the handhelds, where they went, for those households that didn't respond, they would go door to door and be able to enter in the information on those devices. So the next census isn't until 2020, so we've got a lot of ways. We've got a lot of pilots that are underway on how do we use mobile devices with our workforce right now for the ongoing surveys. We are to collect a lot of our information online via our economic program areas. We do a lot of economic statistics, including the economic census where you can report online. But in terms of the population surveys, we're going to be sort of testing some of these mobile devices and how do we allow those field representatives to do their job more effectively. Yeah, 2000 was totally paper-based, so a lot of paper. So just by shrinking the amount of paper that you need in an operation like the census, which is the largest thing the federal government does, you're able to save on space in the offices that you set up around the country. So we had 500 and some odd plus offices in 2000. We were able to shrink those down because we didn't need as much real estate because we weren't printing as much paper to do our jobs.
So you said it's still early days, but do you have any thoughts about what 2020 is going to look like, at least in terms of the devices people are carrying and what they're doing with them?
Yeah, I think what we're trying to do is to be very agile, to be able to take advantage of the technology. Certainly the bring your own device mantra that's within the government right now, I think will probably take a hold. But I certainly think something like a cell phone to where either residents can respond to the census on their iPhone or Android, or possibly have it from a field rep where they go to the door and are able to communicate, show them various information about why they need to be counted, or actually register their information right there.
So moving to the citizen side, what kind of apps have you built to get census information out, and what are you expecting to, tell me a little bit more about the API and what you're expecting to come out of that when any developer can move in and try to make something out of census data?
Sure, I think the overarching philosophy here is we want to create a platform. Census.gov is a platform. We want people to be able to come to our site, either find the information they're looking for, or download the data via an API or other open data and do something with it, whether it be visualization to better understand it, or actually develop a mobile app or even a web application. So by putting all that together, when you're looking at an API, we want to be able to take the structured data and allow people to be able to go in and pull the information very easily and plug it into their application. So we're trying to pull all those core things around the mobile device and how people use them into apps that enable somebody to understand the surrounding things around them, whether it be their local geography, or if you're trying to find a house and you're moving and you want to look at a general area, how do you look up data but in a fun, curious way rather than a government regimented way of you got to look at this table or that table. So we're going to allow you to play with the data, interact with it based on your geolocational device, or GPS as you move throughout your community, or just when you're on travel.
All right, well, thank you very much, Stephen. This has been great.
Thank you very much.
Nice speaking with you.
Thank you.